Innovation is the main driver of governance transformation. In the 21st century, governments historically are not commonly associated with the creativity, nimbleness, or risk-taking ability required to innovate. However, this changed after Modi ji assumed office in 2014. Since then, he strived hard to introduce the culture of innovation and creativity in governance. The government innovations, or governovations, as we commonly call it, have greatly helped the cause of transparency and accountability. Talking of technologies, we have emerging technologies as artificial intelligence, machine learning and robotics and so on and so forth. This has brought India at an inflection point. We have been ranked first for the AI adoption by organizations and seventh for the number of newly funded AI companies by Stanford AI Index 2022. India has also been ranked first in all 5 pillars of peak technology decision intelligence maturity scale, which includes AI as well. And that assesses businesses, commercial technology, as well as modern technology adoption readiness. Includes government as well. Given this, we need to pause and assess. How do we ensure that the potential of technologies is harnessed, not just for entertainment, art, etc., but also for large-scale social transformation and inclusive development and inclusive growth? It's time to democratize the benefits of technologies. As with any efficient decision-making system, democratizing access to data with relevant data governance mechanisms and decreasing barriers to information is one way to build an honest, trust-based digital society. Furthermore, the macroeconomic policies, adoption of technology, and timely reforms undertaken have made it possible for the Indian corporates and businesses to contribute immensely to India's growth story. Ease of doing business is one such dimension adding to it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this panel on ease of doing business. Let's talk about it. EODB is helping the economy and boosting the confidence of wealth creators, as the regulatory environment is increasingly getting sensitive to the needs of the industry. India's rank in ease of doing business, according to the World Bank, has improved from 142 in 2014 to 63 in 2022, and reduction in compliances is now a major focus. This is a blissful scenario and should be made a basis for next level of economic transformation. The rankings should gradually improve. PM Gati Shakti, the new logistics policy, and several other initiatives that have been taken recently are the key priority areas of the government. That means the focus is on infrastructure. That will help holistic planning of all infrastructure projects and bring down logistic cost tremendously. Ease of doing business will remain at the core of it. The world definitely is looking at us. So this panel seeks to highlight how India would reciprocate with stellar performances on multiple fronts. Also seeks to analyze how India would make use of this opportunity as businesses are increasingly in search of an alternative destination for diversifying and reaping the dividends, and India provides that kind of a breeding ground. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome our panelists today. Mr. Belapu Kalyan Chakravarti, Principal Secretary, Labor Welfare Department from Assam. He has worked in various capacities, cross-sectoral and multi-sectoral, across the length and breadth of the country, includes revenue, developmental, magisterial, and taxation administration. He's also obtained specific experience in the fields of agriculture, industry, information technology, elections, World Bank, ADB projects, food management, so on and so forth. My first interaction with him was in the year 2004-05. If you may recollect, you took us to a place called Jalukbari, wherein you were looking after the sales tax and how it was eased, and the number of trucks which were visible there was close to zero, because it was a free-flowing moving traffic rather than a whole kilometer-long queue, waiting to pay the octroi. Excellent work done. I still remember that. I look forward to learning more from you. Mr. T.P. Rajesh, Commissioner of Handlooms and Managing Director, Tamil Nadu Handloom Weavers Cooperative Society Limited from Tamil Nadu. 30 years of outstanding service in the government, quasi-government sectors and PSUs, recognized for his in-depth knowledge, outcome-focused and large-scale project impact. He's also worked for the welfare of persons with disabilities and also recognized for the effective implementation of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao in the state. Mr. Narasimha Reddy, Managing Director, Telangana State Industrial Infrastructure Corporation. For over a decade, he has been dedicatedly working for the development of industrial infrastructure in the state. From 2015 onwards, he has been heading TSIIC and responsible for conceptualization and establishment of world's biggest pharma cluster, which is Hyderabad Pharma City, spread across 19,000 acres. That's huge. He's also implemented Kakatiya Mega Textile Park near Warangal in 1,200 acres. Mr. Rabindranath Roy, MD of Tantuja, West Bengal. He has been at the helm since 2011 and provided leadership to the society and turned it into a profitable organization from a loss-making one. And today, greatly contributing not only to livelihoods and employment of generation, but also the overall community development, having worked with thousands and thousands of, he just mentioned 82,000 SHGs whom he has been associated with and supporting their families and everything. It's a great work. Tantuja has also been a SKOCH awardee in the past and appreciated nationally for the contributions made by him and for the organizational achievements. We're joined by Mr. Abhishek Dastidar as well, who is a consultant working with the Directorate of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, West Bengal. He's been a key member of the EODB team in West Bengal, and past 4 years, he has been working very closely with various departments in implementing various marquee reforms as part of the Ease of Doing Business initiative in the state, and closely associated in implementing several online systems and single window portal in the state. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to you. Welcome all once again to this panel discussion. So we'll divide it over 3 questions. I will put up a question. Let's spend 2 to 3 minutes, each one of us, and then we will come back to the next one so that, in the end, we make this discussion interactive. So my very fundamental question: how do you see ease of doing business rankings a real progress in your state, in your perspective? So let me start with Mr. Kalyan Chakravarti.
Oh, thank you very much for the introduction, and it's been a very long time. I think I met you about 20 years ago when I was the Commissioner of Taxes. True. It's been a long journey, of course. I was a plethora of departments, and currently in the ease of doing business, I think Assam, as you're aware, has been ranked as the most improved state by the surveys of India Today and various other magazines. And the reason has been that we have tried to identify as to what are the issues which really impact business when they come into Assam, whether it is in terms of permissions, trade licenses, land, electricity, and labor. And what are the various pain points that an industry faces? Of course, as of today, Andhra and Telangana are at the top for various reasons which they have been doing. It's a legacy kind of a thing with the various chief ministers like Chandrababu Naidu. We have an extremely aggressive chief minister, Mr. Hemant Biswa Sarma, you're all aware of, and he has been driving it. One of the departments that I'm currently representing is the labor department, and the labor department, you're aware, has can be a nightmare for many of the people who are setting up business. So I will not go into the other aspects of land, revenue, electricity, etc. I'll just speak about labor as such, because that is a very key part of the EODB. And so the few things that we have done as far as the labor department is concerned is twofold. One is to to use the silver bullet of IT in terms of converting all the approvals which are to be given, like whether it's a labor contract license or whether it's shops and establishments, or whether there are about 27 acts under the labor department. So we have tried to decriminalize, increase the fines, make it into an IT-based kind of approval systems. For example, last year we had hardly about 308 applications which had come online. This year, for example, only in the labor contract itself, we have got about approximately 50,000 applications which have come online. So you can see that the shift from offline system to an online system has become real. Secondly, we have brought in amendments in the various acts, shops and establishments. Now, a shop can be open 24/7. Probably it's the first in the country, in the sense, of course, by maintaining also the essence of the labor law in terms of protection of the labor, their welfare, and how do we ensure that they are given all the benefits, social welfare benefits, but yet to also ensure the flexibility to a businessman to keep his shop open, not to be penalized for small things like not maintaining a register or not maintaining small things in his shops, establishment, and industries. So the point is, we have amended the laws. We have made it IT based. We have looked at factories, boilers, shops and establishments very closely, the pain points. We try to decriminalize most of them. We have now also looked at labor in terms of how best we can give them benefits. So for that also we have used IT. The welfare earlier, which used to be offline, going to very few number of labor. Now we have tried to extend it to all the labor, whether it is the tea garden labor, whether it is a transport labor, whether it's domestic labor. So we have initiated the IT processes in the various sectors as far as labor is concerned, and we have started introducing some sort of cess so that the labor welfare can be taken care of. So welfare, IT, and decriminalization and the respect and the other amendments as far as the labor sector is concerned is the ambit in which we are trying to do EODB as far as this sector is concerned. I'm not speaking over the other sectors because there are secretaries in that direction, but labor is a very important sector which can ease the business of setting up an industry and working through it. So in sum and substance, this is what I had to tell you.
Sure. Thank you so much. I'll come back to you in the next round and a couple of questions too, along with that. Yeah. And now invite Mr. T.P. Rajesh. Over to you.
Sir, actually, Tamil Nadu, as you know, that Tamil Nadu has been one of the very important states in the country, which has a natural endowment of resources also. And it has a very diversified manufacturing base. So when you talk of anything like automobile components, automobile components, pharmaceuticals, garments, textile products, leather products, and IT-enabled sectors, I think Tamil Nadu has been one of the very important things. And of course, Tamil Nadu has a dream of, as I said in the opening part of the speech, that probably we want to make our economy, which is the second largest economy in the country, with the GDP of around 300 billion. And we want to make it a $1 trillion economy by 2030. So the ease of doing business, for that as a precursor to facilitate the ease of doing business, Tamil Nadu is one of the states which has implemented the Tamil Nadu Business Facilitation Act way back in 2018. And we have also adopted the single window system for giving clearances, especially for big ticket investments in the manufacturing sectors as well as the MSME sectors. And so that has really facilitated the process, and a lot of investments are coming to Tamil Nadu because of so many factors there. One important factor is about the connectivity part of it. We have port connectivity and the sea connectivity. We have infrastructures, road infrastructures. We have 3 big corridors are there. The Chennai-Bangalore Industrial Corridor is there. Chennai-Kanyakumari Industrial Corridor is there. And Kochi-Coimbatore-Bangalore Industrial Corridor is there. So we also have that wide, vast skilled persons who speak English language. The skilled things are there. So this infrastructure-wise, we are very good. And of course, the skill base of Tamil Nadu is also unparalleled. And we also have a conducive environment for the businessman to come here to start the business, to start the facility. So we have an excellent law and order situation there. And it is more a cosmopolitan sort of a thing. So people, they feel more comfortable when they come to Tamil Nadu, especially in metro places like Chennai and tier 2 cities. So these all factors cumulatively has contributed to the growth of Tamil Nadu. And in this context, if you look at it in this context, the ease of doing business has an impact on the flow of funds to Tamil Nadu from the other countries, because it has given a confidence among the investors to come and to invest in Tamil Nadu, which has a traditional basis, that traditional ecosystem, well-developed ecosystem.
Yep.
So I think this questions, this answers my your
Sure.
questions.
Right. I move over to Mr. Narasimha Reddy.
Yeah, good afternoon again, and good afternoon to all the panelists. Yeah, the question is very straight. Actually, that's a very sound question. When it comes to Telangana state, actually, Telangana state is the new state that was formed in 2014, and the EODB started from 2015 onwards. So the challenge was there before us. When a new state is formed, we have to look at the resources and how to enhance in utilizing them, and also legally how we can go about. So then in 2014 itself, the new act was passed in the assembly in Telangana. That was the landmark enactment, I can say. I think nowhere in the country so far also it is there, except for the single window system. Single window system is there in every state, but Telangana's single window system is by an enactment in the assembly that is called TS IPAS Act. This basically gives three vital things. One is the right to the investor. Every investor has a right to invest in the state, and by this right, he can demand the approvals well within the time specified in the Act. The Act says the clearances have to be given within 14 days. So if it is not given, and on 16th day, it is deemed approval. Deemed approval is also part of the enactment. It is by act, by virtue of the act. So that is the right the investor is having. And another key factor in the act is self-certification. The investor can certify himself that he is going to follow the law of the land, and he can start his construction on day one. So this kind of uniqueness of the act has enabled us to be in the top achievers for the last 4 years. In 15, we were at 13th rank in the EODB, but 16 onwards, we are on the top of the list. So for rank 1, 2, and top achiever. We have been continuing. For this, it is not that easy. And what we have to do at the ground level. What we have done, immediately after formation of the state, we were having a challenge of power, actually electricity. So within 8 months from formation of Telangana in 2004, we have ensured 24/7 electricity for the industry, that to the quality power that was given. Second thing is the law and order. Any investor will look at the law and order situation in a state. So we have taken all the measures ensuring that the law and order situation is quite good and very encouraging. And the third one is the state itself was formed based on the requirement of the water. The waters were not provided properly from the perennial rivers Godavari and Krishna. So that was the main contention when the Telangana agitation was going on. Immediately on formation, we have done irrigation as a very priority sector, and we went with the Kaleshwaram project, which is world's largest multi-level lift irrigation project. With that, we have ensured the supply of water as well. These are the key factors which enabled us to be in the top of the list, apart from amending 64 acts that are required. The major reforms, what we have taken, 300 plus reforms we have taken up. And with this, the investor got the confidence in Telangana. Like Tamil Nadu panelist was mentioning, they have the advantage of the geography. They have the port and other things, but we are landlocked. Still, we are doing well. And we have understood the strengths as well. We were top producer of pharmaceuticals and seed. We have strengthened that, and also we are very strong in the defense and aerospace sector. While looking at the ecosystem already existing, we have tried to attract more investment into the state. This is how we are doing on the ease of doing business.
Very
And
nice.
other important one single point I would also like to mention here, we are now focusing not on EODB, because EODB anyway is happening across this country. And we are doing well as a country as well, as per the World Bank report, as you have mentioned, somewhere from 142, we came to 60s. And we have to go further, like Singapore in the top rank. But the cost of doing business is also very important. Recently, we have focused on that. We are trying to do whatever best we can do for cost of doing business, to reduce the cost of doing business.
Thank you. Mr. Roy. Mr. Roy, are you with us?
Yes, just a minute. Yes, sir. Am I audible now, sir?
Yes, you are.
Good afternoon. In our state, I mean in West Bengal, there is a maximum number of MSME registered as far as in the context of national scenario. So state government has taken so many steps for ease of doing business. There is a cell in our department. It is looked after by Director MSME and Textile. For this, government has started, department has started Shilpo Sathi, a single window service which can be accessed online. And objective of this single window service is to serve as a digital gateway for providing the necessary statutory compliances under the related acts, rule, policies, and schemes of the government of West Bengal. And secondly, investors can get also certificate or license required for setting up MSME units online. Thirdly, thirdly, Shilpo Sathi kiosks have been set up in 23 districts of our state. This 23 industry facilitation center provide handholding support to the MSME units as well as investors seeking statutory compliance service, etc. In this connection, government has also brought in Rural Entrepreneurship Hub, West Bengal Textile Incentive Scheme 2022, Bangosri, another gateway for applying loan subsidy for setting up MSME units or big industries through this online system. And there is West Bengal incentive scheme also. To facilitate these services, department has also introduced mobile app. It is called Shilpo Disha. Entrepreneurs or investors or who are startups, if they face any problem with the different departments or compliance of legal compliances, they can register their grievances through this mobile app, and dedicated team will answer or guide them for solution. Besides this, another thing that the department has introduced, it is called synergy. In all the districts, after say 3 months, in every district, the department and Directorate of MSME organize synergy. That is, in this synergy, other departments which like fire, pollution control board, then electricity, land and land reforms department. These departments are linked for getting some clearance for setting up MSME units. So in this synergy in each district, which is held quarterly, all the officers, they go there, they set up a camp discussion, district business associations, they participate. Through GMDIC, the entrepreneurs, they also participate, they discuss their problems. And in this synergy, there is, kiosks or stalls of different departments, pollution control board, fire, MSME, etc. So any problem related to particular department, they can go there, they can discuss it, they can register their complaints, and necessary help or guidance are provided, if instantly or it is noted in their camp, and within 15 days, they take the effective answers or results. So this ease of doing business, that is also in good shape in West Bengal and good response. And quarterly, this district level synergy is held. In that synergy, there is also banker's stall. It is called finance clinic. There is technical clinic. There sits a number of engineers, so that they can provide the startups or entrepreneurs the technical know-how, and they can give other problems if they face. So
Mr.
this
Roy,
single
I will interrupt you
system
here.
not only, yes.
Mr. Roy, I'll interrupt you here. Let me get the viewpoint from our last panelist on this particular question. I'll come back to you asking for more. If you may kindly allow me to invite
Yes.
Mr. Dastidar.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Dastidar, please.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have Mr. Dastidar with us? Has he been disconnected? Yeah, I can see him there. Dastidar, can you hear me? Your video is switched off and we can't hear you. Well, request you to kindly fix your video and mic so that you're part of the discussion. In the meanwhile, let me pose the next question, which was more relevant, perhaps, both to Mr. Roy and you, Mr. Dastidar. But since you are not there, so let me ask Mr. Roy. How is it that you see EODB be made more effective for entrepreneurs, particularly what does it mean for the small and medium enterprises? Because they are the ones who suffer the most. How EODB can be made more effective for entrepreneurs, particularly for MSMEs?
Yes. Say, just not to online facilities are there, they can access to it, but most of the MSME startups or entrepreneurs, they are not conversant with the use of internet, or they won't get access in rural areas. That's why our department as well as state government is organizing synergy in different districts after an interval of 3 months, so that our officers, not only MSME officers, engineers, but other relevant departments, they can reach out the people in their locality. I mean, in the district level. That's why this synergy is organized. This synergy is very effective for redressal as well as transmission of information from the government level to the entrepreneurs level.
Sure. If I move over to Mr. Kalyan and ask you the same question, how do you make it easy for the entrepreneurs, particularly in the MSME sector?
See, to make it easy for
Can you switch on your video, Mr. Kalyan?
Okay. Yes, please.
Yeah, I can see you as well. Please go ahead.
Okay. So, your question is, in fact, the number of officers, people coming and going, etc. So please don't mind that.
Yeah, that's ease of doing business.
it's a working day. So you were saying, in fact, I was listening to what you were just asked. You said that how do we make EODB good for small sector, right? MSMEs in the smaller sector.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a question more for, of course, an overall question for industry, the power board, and also for the labor. But my understanding is, first and foremost, when we look at Northeast, I was listening to also Narasimha Reddy say that Northeast has come out. I hope you give me about 3-4 minutes for me.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
So I would like to again state that, see, Northeast, the Northeast of the country has been plagued by a couple of things like insurgency and unrest and social movements with regard to insiders, outsiders, besides, of course, its natural issues of floods, etc. So we've come out of that, though at the time of independence, Assam was ahead of rest of the country in terms of its per capita and its GDP growth. Because of the intervening period where we faced this kind of unrest and this kind of destabilizing forces, we had fallen behind. And it's only in the last 10 years that we have really turned around. And though we are much, much more remote, we don't have the natural advantages of a Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, which had the legacy of the British rule there, or Tamil Nadu and Bombay, or even the thriving Hyderabad. We are actually starting from scratch compared to the rest of the country. And we have really moved very fast into the top 10 in the last 10 years. So I wanted to make that clear as far as, why we are moving and how we have understood what our strengths are in terms of nature, in terms of tourism, in terms of the beauty of the place, in terms of the water that we have, and in terms of our accessibility to the Northeast, to the ASEAN countries. So we are building on those strengths. Now, coming to this specific question that you've asked with regard to how do we really help the small entrepreneurs? Of course, we have been helped by the Government of India in terms of the benefits that the Government of India gives in terms of taxation and the other things. And as I said, in case of all the approvals, whether it is in labor, electricity, or in terms of the benefits in terms of subsidies, etc., we try to make it through digitized modes. The most important thing I think that the small entrepreneurs face MSMEs face is electricity and land. In terms of land, let me say that Assam has introduced something called Vasundhara project, which has been appreciated even by the Honorable Prime Minister, wherein, like, the most complex thing is allotment of land and ensuring that that there's an electricity, and besides, of course, all the other approvals which need to be followed up very, very fast. And then we have made this allocation of land, etc. Everything is online, and just like Karnataka is doing, we also had we are having dedicated teams. In fact, I would like you to look at the website called Vasundhara in the state of Assam, which really meets the needs as far as land allocation is concerned. And MSMEs, of course, we need to also support not only in terms of the inputs that we give, we also need to support them in terms of the output, in terms of their markets, and in terms of linking up to things like Flipkart or to e-commerce transactions, etc. So the government provides both input kind of facilities, output kind of facilities, and also the logistics support, like the Brahmaputra, the kind of waterways that we are having, the kind of transportation and logistics that the Assam government is providing. So we are having huge investments which are coming in because of the nature of the comprehensive way in which we are looking at promoting these MSMEs. We are very, very unlike most of the other states, we are very focused on the MSMEs because that is where employment is. And we are focused that in the next 4 years, we will be skilling and probably employing about 12 lakh people. So we are on a very, very steep upward curve, and we know that MSMEs mean a lot in their survival. And for example, ensuring their survival financially, logistically, and also in terms of the approvals have to be taken care of. So various secretaries are involved. I am sort of representing all of them. So we are going from step to step in this direction. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to extend this question to Mr. Reddy, saying that, in the name of environmental protection and clearances and so on and so forth, a lot of places we have seen wherever there are smaller enterprises found to be, quote unquote, polluting the environment under the whether the local courts or NGT or whatever, they are told to shift away from that area and go farther away. Easy for a large organization, which is tens of thousands of crores of rupees turnover, to set up operation at a new place and start off. But having to shift a smaller enterprise, which is already struggling, fledgling, going to a remote area, starting operation from there, in the name of environment, even though you are creating, the necessary infrastructure there, employment becomes an issue, availability of manpower becomes an issue, accessing market becomes an issue, the costs really, really go up. So it's kind of a dichotomous situation. How have you been handling in your state?
Yeah, really, it's a very good question. First of all, your insight into the issues, really amazing. I have been working here for last 8 years. We have struggled a lot with these things initially. Now we have collaborated and put forth the system called in every industrial area. What we are doing, we are only taking the environmental clearance. And whether it is sector specific or it is a multi-product industrial area, based on that, we are also providing the common infrastructure. When I say common infrastructure, particularly with respect to the pollution related effluent treatment, sewage treatment, etc. The good part here in Telangana is we have the authority with us instead of having the Panchayat Raj or municipality, which looks after the civic amenities. We are delegated with the power. We are called Industrial Area Local Authority. The local authority is also with me. It is enabling two ways. One is non-interference of the political parties, which generally create a problem for the industry. And second thing is the maintenance part of the industrial area. This is in the hands of a local authority, which is supported by the units of that particular area by themselves. So this is how we are tackling the management of the industrial parks. As you rightly pointed out, the pollution is a big concern, and going forward, now as per the sustainable development goals, we need to look into the climate change and everything. So we as an infrastructure corporation, we are looking into that and we are providing. For example, I mentioned Hyderabad Pharma City. You have also mentioned while talking about my resume. So there, in 19,000 acres, handling the pollution, particularly it's a pharma city, is a bigger challenge. When we have to take the environmental clearance from the MOEF, we have sat with them, the environmental clearance committee, for 5 times. We have to tell what kind of measures we are going to take to counter the pollution. So we could finally give all the solutions, and we are going ahead with that. When we talk about that, in every industrial area, 20 to 30% of the land is dedicated for the MSMEs, so that the coexistence is very, very important. These are the ancillary units for the main industry. Therefore, in every industrial park, we are doing that. Secondly, we are also constructing the plug and play facility, wherein we are going to create all the infrastructure, including the power, water, everything, and also a training facility in the industrial area. And we are going to train the people. Particularly, MSMEs are lacking technological advancement. This is another key area where we found this is very, very important to compete in the open market, in the world market. Unless if they go traditionally, it is not going to help them. That's why looking into that as well. And another key area we have identified, particularly the credit availability for the MSMEs. So we have created one separate organization called Telangana Industrial Health Clinic Limited, which looks into the incipientness of the MSMEs and also the sickness of the MSMEs. And we help connect them to the bankers, financial institutions, and a part of investment is also going through the industrial health clinic, wherein the TEFs, the techno-economic feasibility studies are done by this TASCL, and we are guiding MSMEs. So in a nutshell, what we are trying to do also give preferential procurement in the government, so that we can also support MSMEs. That is another key aspect of what we have looked into. These are the various angles we have looked at MSME, and we are trying to provide what all government support that is required so that they can sustain. What we believe in, if the MSME ecosystem exists in the state, then only you will be able to attract the major investors into the state. Because unless you have the MSME sector here, immediately a big company coming and they will be looking for the components, it will become a mismatch. That's the reason we have been looking at. That's how we could succeed in aerospace and defense manufacturing. Tata is having all its giant ventures here. Tata, Lockheed Martin, Sikorsky, you name anything, Boeing, and Airbus is also coming, and Safran is also here. This is because of 2,000 MSMEs themselves are existing in Hyderabad. They are into the component manufacturing. And there is another big sector, because of the public sector undertakings at that point in time. These small industries have developed, but they are struggling for the new businesses, wherein we have understood that, and we are trying to get more bigger investments and supporting MSMEs. And whenever you find a time to visit Hyderabad, I would request you to see the MSME exclusive industrial area developed in 500 acres. You will be definitely appreciating that. Thank you.
We will do that in our next visit. Thank you very much for sharing your viewpoint.
Just a minute.
Sir.
Yeah. So I was saying that how I was in Telangana for last 6 years, five and a half years. So we did work together on Pharma City and Kaleshwaram. I was looking after environment there. So I can understand the amount of hard work he did, and I assisted him in doing that with regard to the environmental clearances.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
That's wonderful. In fact, we have maybe another 5-7 minutes. I can quickly float one question. That's for anyone to pick up. When we started in 2014, the basic premise of EODB was the simplification of processes and procedures. So in 2020, a study, revealed that there are, India has over 69,000 regulatory compliances across various businesses in the country, of which 63% pertain to states. Remaining were with the central government. In last 2 years, more than 33,000 compliances have been simplified. It's a great news, but does it really translate to enhancement in business? So how have rationalization and digitalization of regulatory compliances particularly helped spur EODB, insolvency and bankruptcy code being one? So let me start with Kalyan.
The question is, does it help? Of course it does. In the sense, when we have made redundant so many of the laws, we have decriminalized the laws, we have digitized the nature of approvals, and as Narasimha Reddy, my colleague, was saying, that we have made deemed approvals part of the act, and we are doing so across the country gradually. We are trying to understand the pain points. All these, without a doubt, will help. It used to take an industry about 8 months, 9 months to even set up. And I think in Telangana, it takes hardly 1 month now, or probably lesser, to set up. So all states are trying to catch up as far as to Telangana and Andhra in terms of the speed and delivery. But one point, what you've said, and what probably we all do miss, is that despite all this, ultimately it's a human attitude that makes a difference. So even when we really say that deemed approval are there, and everything is there, supposing, say, if the attitude is very critical, if you put an objection, if the officer decides to, at the time of land allocation, he puts an objection, etc. See, a lot of things can go wrong. And then how do you make it business friendly? Because there are not number of things, the time of renewal should be increased from 1 year to 5 years, so that he doesn't have to go every year to that person. So, and also the manner in which we treat them. So the attitude aspect and the discretionary aspect of the government can still remain. And therefore, though we simplify, unless we incentivize the attitude aspect, I feel, and ensure that that only then EODB will make sense, because it's more than processes. It's an outlook, and the outlook is business was evil. Government will always thought business was evil. We have to change that to business being a partner. So to really to come together, even in PPPs, make the difference. That would be the most important thing. I think over and above the processes, procedures, acts, deregulation, decriminalization is also the component of the human attitude is, I think, the most critical thing. Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Rajesh, quick one from your side.
Sir, actually, actually we have implemented around some 301 business reforms suggested by the Department of Government of India. We have implemented the thing in Tamil Nadu. This means a lot, especially to the MSMEs, small MSMEs. Unlike other states, Tamil Nadu has own for the MSMEs to cater through the land requirements, power connections, and other things. We have some industrial estates. Some 115 industrial estates are there. Now we are coming up with 4 clusters. MSME in Tamil Nadu is one of the very important things. Of course, the largest employment provider, maybe around some 12.94 lakhs are there. Unincorporated enterprises are there. Remaining things are there. Unincorporated enterprises, which are around 35 lakhs are there. So we want to facilitate them. The facilitation process, probably these procedures, the archaic procedures, bureaucratic redundant procedures, it stands a long way in hurting them, and stands a long way in blocking them and having an access to the information which they really require. Of course, this is the decriminalization of some of the acts. We are also started the process on that. So this helps us a lot. And we are also giving a hand-holding thing, as the from the Telangana, they are saying that the technology, we need technological advancements. We need persons to give a hand-holding to the technological MSME units who have been using the technology. So we have a well-established system of the district information centers who handhold them, the MSME units, especially small investors. We want to encourage the entrepreneurs. That is our objective. New entrepreneurs come to the new entrepreneur news that they have to take up small activities, especially cutting across the different sectors. Whether it is in that automobile is a well-established thing. It is not a automobile, pharmaceuticals and other things are a well-established thing. They have their own MSME units are there. Emerging sectors for the IT-enabled services, they are providing the thing. So Tamil Nadu, I think we have started the process. I would say that it is not complete, it is an ongoing thing. So once it helps a lot, I would say that it helps a lot more than the big ticket investments of the big players also.
Thank you. Mr. Dasadar, we haven't heard from you. I've been waiting to speak with you, probably missed you in the
Thank you very much. I think esteemed panelists, they have covered all the points. So I'll just touch upon certain things that, as a UODB as a whole, that the state of West Bengal has done over the last decade and as well as in the MSME sectors. And this is how we are planning to move ahead. So, in last decade, beginning of the last decade, UODB was, sort of only of the online system. So you go online and you say it's in UODB. But no, we have moved on from there. We have a single window portal. We have a single window act to back that portal. And I'll just touch upon certain points that we have actually covered to how we have raised our bar. So over these years, this documentation reduction, like you now you do not require a renewal of a shops and establishment act here in West Bengal, and similarly the trade license is real time now. So this is how we have reduced documentation. We have done a government process reengineering over the years, and reducing the timeline. The timelines which were there earlier, we have reduced it, and also backed it up with West Bengal means Right to Public Service Act. Moving forward, as this deemed approval, this is one of the things that has we have taken up in this UODB initiative. And one of the biggest problems that was there in I think all over the country was this inspection regime. People were scared of this inspection going on, but here what we have done, we have simplified it. We have made it system driven, so that the inspectors get selected based on a system. System selects the inspector and randomize it, made it transparent, time bound. And the visits are also, we have tried to make it synchronized. So a labor inspection and a inspection for a pollution control boards are being happening at the same time. So this is how we have gone through, and now we are actually also working on the assessment of reduction of doing business, cost of doing business. This is what is our next focus. And just to touch upon the MSME part, there also we have taken some marquee initiatives like giving them a financial clinic. So this synergy that takes place in West Bengal, we have a financial clinic because we the state has thought that the MSME they need the funding support also. So the government gives them that financial clinic sort of a support that they can come and we handle them with banks. So like all these things we have done, and just to end for the MSMEs, we have a online portal where they can put in their products, showcase them. We train them how to put their products and what to showcase, and we give a proper hand-holding. So this is how we have done UODB in the states. I'm looking forward to do it and taking it further. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. In fact, it's an interesting subject, and more time, definitely a lot more time would be required, because in a short span of 40-50 minutes, not many questions can be answered. But yes, we have a few takeaways before I wind up the discussion here. Then EODB is for real. it's true that when you pick up speed, you move at a faster pace. But when you're on top of the hill, then of course the speed slows down, and the real challenges come up. So probably that's the stage wherein we have already entered. And some of the panelists did talk about that. A lot of capacity has been added, but a lot needs to be worked on, changing the mindset of the officers, because the real hurdles can actually come there. Of course, the reduction in compliances, increasing digitalization have helped to a great extent. But what about the technology infusion? We've been talking about India today as a digital economy, but most of the, apart from the large enterprises, the infusion of technology and the investments in technology at the medium, small enterprise level is something which poses a big question. And absence of modern technologies always would come as a hindrance, even though the simplification of processes do take place. So that is something we need to look at. And overall, while we say that the element of inspection and this has reduced and the amount of self-declaration has gone up, so that has actually helped to a great extent. But yeah, instead of purely focusing in, ever since 2014 till date, we are looking at like 6 to 8 years that we have spent looking at ease of doing business. Perhaps time is now to look into the cost of doing business, because that's exactly where the competitiveness is going to come along. And we have to improve our rankings further. The states within the country have to improve their rankings vis-a-vis other ones. So that's exactly where the cost is going to come in. So, well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me in this discussion. Thanks to Mr. Kalyan, Mr. Rajesh, Mr. Reddy, Mr. Roy, and Mr. Dasida. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.